Friends, thanks for being part of the knowledge sharing initiative of All India Federation of Master Painters. I'm thankful to our dynamic leader, Subhash Chandraji, who is also a former president of AIFMP, for sparing time to be with us as the chief guest of this virtual technical seminar. This virtual seminar is the first of the series of such knowledgeable meetings being organized by the All India Federation of Master Painters. Today's meeting is being organized in collaboration with the Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar. I'm thankful to Professor Dr. Anjan Kumar Baral, the best printing teacher of the world, for accepting our request to guide and moderate this seminar. We have with us eminent speakers, Professor Dr. Amrit Raj sir, Mr. Hatinder Kumar, and Mr. Manish Gupta, who will guide us about the print on demand segment. Friends, while requesting Dr. Baral to start today's proceeding, I wish to remind the letterpress age. Many of you might have started with letterpress. Have you noticed the change? Now, most of the modern printers may not know the name of this technology. Where are floppies, CDs, image setter, phototype setting? Have you noticed the change? Sir, change is inevitable, and if you will not change with the time, you will lag behind. This pandemic has taught us many new lessons, and the things are being changed drastically after normalcy is restored. Print on demand is the segment gaining importance during and after pandemic. Print on demand refers to the business that print their product after customers have placed the orders, and even sometimes made the payments also. This business model has become very popular in recent years. As per the Universe Index, 80% of the population use internet to purchase goods and services online. I'm talking about the world statistics. It's not Indian statistics. In India, it may be less than 50%. E-commerce is an ever-demanding industry, and it is high time that you stepped in if you ever dreamed of doing so. Print on demand is one part of e-commerce, and you could easily start this business if you are someone who loves designing and selling the things online. As already said, change is unavoidable. But here I would like to add that change is profitable also. Try to change your system of business to get new customers. In short, print on demand does actually work, and it is very, very profitable business model if you select the right markets and make the right decisions. It is fairly easy business then that can offer a lot of profit while helping you create a brand identity. I will not take much of the time because experts are there to explain this segment, and I don't want to stand between you and the experts. And would like to invite Professor Dr. Anjan Kumar Baral from GJUSR to start today's proceeding. He has acquired in-depth knowledge and expertise in the areas of print education and research, besides the industrial exposure. He has published more than 80 research papers and authored 3 books in printing technology. Based on his contributions to the global graphic art education, training and research, Printing Industries of America conferred its most coveted Global Education Award of Excellence in the year 2018 to Dr. Baral. Dr. Baral is actively involved in the activities of AIFMP. And today, as I already told, this seminar we are conducting in collaboration with GJU Hisar, where He is a professor. So I would like to invite Dr. Bral. Over to Dr. Bral for conducting today's seminar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Kamalji, for introducing me and giving me the opportunity to act as moderator for the webinars in the fields of printing and packaging technology. Very good evening and welcome to a very useful and effective webinar on prediction for print on demand segment. Professor Kamal Chopra ji, Honorable President AIFMP, Mr. Subhash Chandra ji, former President AIFMP, Mr. And also he is the chief guest of today's webinar, Professor Amruta Raj H. Krishnan, Sri Hitendra Kumar, Sri Manish Gupta, our esteemed speakers of today's webinar, AIFMP office bearers, faculty members of the Departments of Printing Technology, JJUST Hisar, print gurus, print professionals, printing industry delegates, researchers, and dear students. On the behalf of AIFMP and JJUST Hisar, I welcome to today's webinar. 2020 has been an exciting and challenging year for the growing print on demand industry. This year is very different and most of us were not ready for it. A storm of events in the global healthcare, politics, and business have provoked irreversible changes. They touched upon the manufacturing industry, including print on demand business. Now it's more authentic and focused on the individual needs of the consumers. Thanks to the rise of TikTok, Generation Z has become a leading fashion reference. The trends of 2020 have become a real test for the global printing industry. According to Smithers Research, its total value fell from $814.7 billion to a projected $743.4 billion in 2020. Of course, many entrepreneurs faced the risk of failure because of restrictions. Of course, the print on demand market size is increasing. The low overhead cost, minimal investment, and good margin potential are the advantages that make the POD model ideal for entrepreneurs. In 2021, the leaders among print-on-demand websites will be those who follow trends, have a targeted, profitable, and personalized approach to their audience, and offer differentiated products that belong to a specific niche. One of the latest trends in printing technology is environmental friendly printing. The restless starts of 2020 marked the emergence of new principles of the global economy. The retail decline and e-commerce rise have given a powerful boost to the print-on-demand business. Only personalized products will remain at the top with unique designs, minimalistic solutions, and ecological approach. And today we are here to discuss all these points in detail. Our very own, the person behind the show, the chief guest of today's function, Mr. Subhash Chandra ji. He has been unanimously elected the president of All India Federation of Master Printers for the year 2008 to 2009 term. A man of drive and initiative, he was born in the family of a freedom fighter. He owns a decent offset press in Delhi. He has widely traveled internationally. Mr. Subhash Chandra held the post of President of Delhi Printers Association for 4 years, 87 to 89, 92 to 94. He has always been in the forefront of various activities connected with the development of printing industry and welfare of the printing fraternity. He played a leading role in organizing and managing the DPA Technical Training Center. During his long association with AIFMP, Mr. Subhash Chandra has been its governing council member since 1984. He was its joint secretary, treasurer, and vice president North also. In addition, he has served the Federation as chairman of Import Standing Committee. Without much delay, I would like to request Mr. Subhash Chandra ji to bless this webinar through his chief guest speech. Over to Mr. Subhash Chandra ji.
Respected Professor Kamal Chopra ji, President All India Federation of Master Printer, Chairman World Print Communication Forum, and renowned international personality in printing industry. All past president of AIFMP, office bearer, GC and GB member, and dear printers friends. सर, कमल चोपड़ा जी के बारे में जितना मेरे को कहना चाहिए तो वो भी मेरे पास टाइम कम है। इन्होंने इतने काम किए हैं पिछले लॉकडाउन कोविड पीरियड के अंदर, इन्होंने डिफरेंट वेबिनार्स किए और 41 आवर्स इसकी रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो अवेलेबल है। प्रिंट यात्रा इनका एक बहुत बड़ा अचीवमेंट है। ऑल ओवर इंडिया इन्होंने प्रिंट यात्रा करी ड्यूरिंग पेमेक्स एग्जीबिशन बाय रोड अप टू नेपाल तक। ही वाज द फाउंडर ऑफ प्रिंटर डे। 900 प्रिंटर्स ये विदेश ले गए अपने गवर्नमेंट के एक्सपेंसेस के ऊपर। लाइफ इन प्रिंट, हमें बड़ा प्राउड के साथ कहना पड़ता है कि हमारे प्रोफेसर कमल चोपड़ा जी की लाइफ के ऊपर जो किताब छपी है एक बहुत बड़ी अचीवमेंट है। एक बहुत बड़ा प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा ये काम हुआ है, क्योंकि आज तक मैंने किसी प्रिंटर की इस तरह की बुक नहीं देखी गई। ही इज ए मैन मेंट फॉर प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री, जिनकी इनके पास नॉलेज है, और ये इतनी नॉलेज है एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकते। ये फ्यूचर में प्रिंटिंग में क्या होने वाला है ये भी बता सकते हैं, पर इतना बड़ा मेरे पास, मैं इनके बारे में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं बोल सकता। ही इज ए थोरल नॉलेज पर्सन एंड अबाउट ही कैन डू अबाउट 3D प्रिंटिंग, फ्यूचर प्रिंटिंग आल्सो। एंड प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर रंजन कुमार बराल, ही इज आल्सो ए रिनाउंड इंटरनेशनल एकेडमिक पर्सनैलिटी। बराड़ साहब, आपको प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री एंड ऑल इंडिया फेडरेशन ऑफ मास्टर प्रिंटर के लिए भगवान ने बनाया है। डिफिकल्ट टाइम ऑफ कोविड, यू स्टार्टेड विद डिफरेंट वेबिनार्स ऑन डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट विद मिस्टर कमल चोपड़ा। ईश्वर आपको स्वस्थ रखे। एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर अमृता राज H. Krishnan, Professor and Head Department of Media Technology, Manipal Institute of Technology, Manipal. Mr. Harinder Singh, Kodak Print, East Bend Kodak Company. And Mr. Manish Gupta, Konica Minolta Business Solution India Private Limited. Now come to the today's subject, print on demand. Sir, अभी कमल चोपड़ा जी आप बता रहे थे, मैं बेसिकली आई वाज ए लेटर प्रेस प्रिंटर। मैंने वो लेटर प्रेस का टाइम देखा है जब हॉट मेटल से कंपोजिंग हुआ करती थी और कोई काम मिल जाता था तो परेशानी हो जाती थी। अगर जल्दी काम देना पड़ जाए तो उस टाइम परेशानी हो जाती थी, आदमी मैनेज करने पड़ते थे। उसके बाद मेटल खत्म हो जाता था तो बड़ा डिफिकल्ट, कमिटमेंट करनी उस टाइम बड़ी मुश्किल होती थी। वो भी टाइम हमने देखा है, और उस टाइम ही किसी ना किसी तरह लोग काम करके हम पूरा करके देते ही थे, चाहे वो सोविनियर होती थी, बुक होती थी, पर वो बड़ा डिफिकल्ट टाइम होता था। पर उस टाइम पैसा इतना नहीं कमाया जा सकता था। आज बड़ा अच्छा टाइम है। आज से कुछ साल पहले, बिफोर डिजिटल की जब शुरुआत हुई, मेरे को बहुत बड़ी कंपनी से 15,000 डायरी का ऑर्डर दिया। मेरे को एक ब्रिगेडियर आलू वालिया थे, आर्मी के रिटायर्ड थे, उन्होंने मुझे बुलाया ये डायरी प्रिंट करनी है। वो 15,000 डायरी बिफोर डिजिटल प्रिंटिंग, सो मैनी ईयर, 25-30 साल पुरानी बात कर रहा हूँ। तो कहने लगे, बहुत बड़ा ऑर्डर था, तो कहने लगे जी ये डायरी मुझे परसों चाहिए, एक डायरी बना के दो। मैंने कहा सर हाउ इट इज पॉसिबल, एक डायरी आपको प्रिंट करी। वो कह रहा है जी चेयरमैन बाहर जा रहा है, आपको एक डायरी दिखानी पड़ेगी, अगर आपको ऑर्डर चाहिए तो ये डायरी दिखानी पड़ेगी। मैंने कहा सर ये प्रिलिमिनरी पेज है, ये मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ, डायरी जो है किस तरह, यानी आओ मैंने मैनेज करके 2-3 दिन में दिखाया। बड़ी मुश्किल हुई थी। सर आपको ये अमेजन कंपनी जो आज है, आज वर्ल्ड की नंबर 1 कंपनी है, वो 92-93 में उनकी बुक शॉप होती थी। आज वो वर्ल्ड में ईच एंड एवरीथिंग सप्लाई कर रहे हैं। आज उनकी लाइब्रेरी में आप कोई जो लाइब्रेरी में उनकी बुक है वो अगर आप डिमांड करो वो आपके घर एक किताब बुक प्रिंट करके भी भेज देंगे। पब्लिशर आज की डेट में ये है, ये क्या करते हैं साहब, जो उनका न्यू पब्लिकेशन आती है वो 100-200 कॉपी छपाते हैं, उसके बाद अपना मार्केट का ट्रेंड देखते हैं, ये कितनी कॉपी चाहिए, इसका क्या रिस्पॉन्स है, उसके हिसाब से प्रिंटिंग कराते हैं। ये हमारी प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री के लिए स्पीकर्स बताएंगे ये अच्छा टाइम नहीं भी है। ऑल्दो हमारी प्रिंटिंग इंडस्ट्री जो है मोर देन 80-90,000 करोड़ की इंडस्ट्री है। और मैं थोड़े दिन पहले की बात है, मेरे को फोन आया कि एक 10,000 कॉपी छपानी है, तो मैंने कहा छप जाएगी। मेरे ऑफिस में वो किताब पड़ी हुई थी, तो मैं जब गया तो मैंने उस किताब को देखा तो उसमें हर पेज में गलती थी। तो मैंने कहा भाई साहब ये किताब में तो आपने पहले किससे छपाई है? कहना भाई ये तो एक डमी बनाई है, डिजिटल प्रिंटिंग कराई है। तो आज ऐसा टाइम आ गया, एक किताब भी दिखा सकते हैं, किसी को शॉर्ट पीरियड में फोन करता है, इतने इमीडिएट डिलीवरी हो जाती है। इट इज अ प्रॉफिटेबल बिजनेस, नो डाउट, और काम भी बड़ा आसान हो गया है। What is the relevance of the today's topic with these trends? Yes, we all know the print is a communication medium, be it books, newspaper, or a marketing material like catalog or a produced brochure. Packaging has more to do, as you know. So, when we compare the traditional print and the digital printing, digital scores very high, without any doubt. I must say, digital is the future. My friends and colleagues in the print industry may find it hard to digest. Many say hybrid and coexistence, etc. But clearly, in few years, digital will be the primary medium of print without any doubt. Now it is in the nascent stage, but it has matured and it penetrated to every field of print. It can print cartons, packagings, labels, and more. There are limitations, obviously, like paper thickness, cost of production, etc. These were the challenges faced by every technology, including the offset. At one point, people used to say, letterpress is better than offset. You know, the rest is history now. More details on this subject, our speaker will tell you in details. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a brief idea how the hot melt type is transformed into the present scenario and the present context of book production. Thank you, sir. And I would like to welcome Mr. Delan Silva, President, Sri Lanka Printers Association. He has just joined. Welcome you too, sir. And it's a good to see you, sir. Moving further to the real content, our very first speaker, Dr. Amrutraj H. Krishnan. He is presently working as professor and head Department of Media Technology at Manipal Institute of Technology, Manipal, Mahe. Dr. Amrutraj did his diploma in printing technology, then Bachelor's of Engineering in Printing Technology from Pune University, Masters of Technology in Engineering Management from Manipal University, followed by PhD in Printing Technology. He has also PG Diploma in Printing Technology from Center for Graphic Arts Chemins through VDMA Print Promotion, Frankfurt. His PhD is in Environmental Science from St. Peter's University, Chennai. His areas of interest in research are on environmental science, green printing, and renewable energy systems. He joined services in the year 1989 and held various crucial positions. He has held various responsibilities in the institute. He is a fellow of the Institution of Engineers. He also a printing consultant and conducts industry training at number of printing presses all over India. Is young, dynamic, and on the very first call, he agreed. So we are highly thankful to you, sir, Amrutraj sir. Now it is over to Dr. Amrutraj sir for his presentation. Sir.
Thank you, Baralji. Thank you for the good words. And I also like to thank all the office bearers of AIFMP, Kamalji, and others for giving me this opportunity to speak a few words about on-demand printing concept. Now, basically, like when Baralji told me to make a presentation, I was just going through what all things I should have. And then I have prepared some slides, around 25 slides I have prepared. Going through some consultancy I could make, some research I could do, and I have made what all I know. I have put it. I felt correct. I have put it. If at all anything is wrong, please forgive me, and please correct me also if I am wrong anywhere. Okay, I have also made a survey with some of my printers in the South Canara, near Manipal, Udupi, Mangalore. I have made, and with that, some statistics. I am just giving you a small presentation about this on-demand printing. Sir, I have a slide show. So I think I will go to share screen, and I will click here. Yeah, this is my preparation. And the topic is very clear. It is print on demand. That is plays a very important role in this COVID time, especially. And basically, as we say, it is a concept. As we say, it is a concept of printing, where we can have B2B business, or we can have B2C business. Now, when I say B2C business is directly to the customer, we can have. Say, for example, suppose say I want to have a trade book which was printed, say, 10 years back or 20 years back. So that time, when I search, I may not get it on the stalls, but I can find out who is the printer. Usually, the printer will have the database, and on my request, he will be able to give me the book which I have ordered. Of course, he will go to the publisher. He will take permission from the publisher. That and all internal things happens, and the B2C concept of business take place. That is the benefit of one copy or say 10 copies. It very comfortably we can print through this digital method. But now it is not limited to 10 copies or 20 or 50 copies. Usually they print between 200 to 500 copies, and to some extent it has gone up to about 900 copies also it has gone. And they separate some of the printers. Yeah, some of the printers, they have gone further ahead to have a separate vertical for this digital printing. This is one nice graphics I got from the net while I was browsing through. I liked it very much because the imagination of the designer, so nice. We can see our solar system and the print industry as the sun, and you can see the other music industry, video game, online. Then of course the Jupiter is 28 million. That is our business. All these things, and I felt very happy. That's why I thought I will put this also. Printing industry, as we say, is a huge business where we have, if you combine the electronic media also, this is to be the second biggest industry in the world. And of course, to be in the top, you need to have a lot of flexibility should be there. In fact, I have a lot of respect for printers, not because I am just a printer, because, and especially people like people who have born between 60 to 70. There we always see that the changes. I still remember when I studied my diploma, I have studied letterpress printing. Then by the time I came, I started working, that is no more there. Then came that offset, their developments we have seen, digitization we have seen, and all these throughout, like the printers are very cooperative and without any resistance, they manage, because basically, our industry is a service industry. So that flexibility have made us to survive. Though we say that there are a lot of problems are there, but still everybody join together and we move forward, so that there will be progress, there will be development, and also we will be able to sustain. This is the topic which I am going to speak, that is organizational and technological workflow in the print on demand concept. And you can see two machines there. These are the digital printing machines, which we see. Digital printing machines, which this is a web offset press, and this is a sheet fed offset machine. Now, these web offset presses are not very common. I think only the A-type printers, I think to my understanding, they are already having it. But the sheet fed, these are quite common nowadays. Now, as we say, as I told you in the beginning, that our life have been a full challenge throughout our career. The great, and then now coming now is this COVID, another greatest headache. The thing is that nobody knows when this is going to end. That is the greatest worry which I have. When they told we had a 1 month full shutdown, so in fact, like many others, I also thought that after this is going to end. Then the first wave was not very severe. Second wave again came to be more very severe. It hit everybody very badly. And I asked some of my print colleagues in and around Udupi, Mangalore, Manipal and all. But everybody is in a very confusion state. There is no certainty on things. When it is going to end. When even now, see, am I speaking now? As I speak, lockdown is going on in Karnataka. And we are all working from, I came to my office because our university has taken special permission because classes and online classes and all are going on. That's why I could come to my office. Otherwise, now I'll have to sit in my home. And then the next problem what we faced was the product demand. Supply chain, full, totally spoiled. Or most of the clients are not working. Transport issues, hardly we see any vehicle moving on the road. Probably essential supply vehicles are only permitted. And maybe most of you printers have seen, the cost have gone shoot up very badly the last 1 year. And then, of course, they reduced it and slightly now it is increasing. Cash flow shortage. So all these things, these are all the challenges what we are facing now. And I have, you can see on the slide, Mr. Rajiv Malhotra. This while browsing, I just happened to see it. Sir is a researcher and person who speaks on the current affairs. There, he has spoken about this COVID crisis. I feel if you have time, please listen to him. And not many topics. He speaks on various topics that good to listen to him. Now, another important thing is like the promotion of our business. Now, if you ask me, how many printers have promoted themselves? To me, to my understanding, like I have not seen much. Have you ever seen a press advertisement anywhere in a magazine? We see many things. We see the supply. We see on the online. You see some of the small time printers putting. Other than that, major printers they never. Very rarely we see it. And this vigorous marketing is required, so that we can people will come to know what it is. This is the only segment I think where there is no much advertisement which we see. So they said it, put it right. If you build it right, then only they will come. They will come in, the customer will come. So we need to attract the customers, which many other industries are doing. Now coming to the organizational workflow, this is one which I could get. Now you can see the author. Author is nothing but I can put it as the customer. And the customer comes to you. There will be a marketing to let in the customer or let in the business. The printer finally agrees. Printing take place. The printing take place here, after the print, it goes to the distributor, that is the wholesale guy. Then from him, it will go to the customers. Okay, from the retail shop, customer will buy it. Now, and after that, it goes to the customer, and again, you can see one media sales and promotion. And the beginning also, you can see one marketing team. Most of the printers, most of the airtype printers, they have a separate department. B and C, to some extent, they manage, the owner themselves manage it. And also some small time, this is there. It is not the matter of the big or small. How active you are, that is what is more important. They play a very important role in building the business. Okay, and then maybe either the ones during the settlement, we may go for mass production, or sometimes we may go for digital books, and sometimes that is now what we see is we go for as per the demand or as per the publisher demand, that is business to business, or the customer demand, business to B2C, we will go for the print. This marketing strategy is what we take. The marketing, how we can impose or how we can convince your customer, that is the most important thing. There are a number of ways to do the marketing, the old conventional method of marketing that we have seen it. Most of us have come up with that, the conventional way of marketing. And not necessarily that always we should stick on to the old concept. When things change, we must go according to the situation. Otherwise we go, it is you will not be able to sustain. That is for sure. And here, you can see purposely I put this slide, the new rules of marketing and PR, public relations. That is the old rules, that is gone. Marketing strategies, the digital books are available. And another post, a very interesting one, there is no post-COVID era. A very meaningful thing that means nobody knows when this is going to. There is no end for it. Only thing is how good you are keeping yourself safe That is what it. Now, this digital marketing concept is a very old concept by Professor Philip Kotler. He is the father of management, I should say. Most of the MBA students, like marketing people, they have his book on the shelf. They would have gone through it. We all studied. We also had little bit marketing. We also have studied Professor Philip Kotler's book. And there he has, this concept was started somewhere in 1990s. And then sometimes the growth will be less because we will be still looking for the conventional thing. And there, basically it is a online marketing, digital marketing, nothing but online marketing. And selling and buying, all those things take place very easily. That is the best part of it. Very easily, you can sell your things, you can buy things. Not many apps you can see in the market, and this is something very wonderful, I should say. What you see here is the social marketing. Social marketing has taken up everything. I'm not sure if at all there is anybody in the world who have not heard about Facebook, Instagram, then Twitter, YouTube. Every child, even at our home, our children, even the smallest one knows what is Facebook, all these social media. And you see the what is the percentage of view? So much, 24% of the people around the world. This is not, I'm just not speaking about India alone. Around the world, people have Facebook accounts. And the emails, I still remember somewhere in 1996, that is the time I started my Yahoo mail. And that too, with lot of compulsion. I was not interested. One of my friend compelled me and I took it. And now you see, we cannot live without seeing the email. Every day when you come to the office, first thing what we see is, we see the email. And the social networking is the most popular activity in this 2020, 2021 and coming years. That's what I believe. Emails, 11% of people look and see Twitter, Yahoo, whatnot. The entire thing, people have gone digitally, and we also need to go in that phase. Most of the people, when they want to purchase something or when they want to sell something, they always go to the website. They always go to the various sites. They take the feedback, and then only the business takes place. There are, to my understanding, there are 15 million small business using Facebook. And minimum person will have, a typical user will have at least 9 social media platforms. There is a statistic which is given. I have just taken it from the net, and 71% of the consumers have good social media experience. 74% they share the video content. That is one of the best things. Best way to promote is either put the picture or show it in the video form. That will always give an impact to the customer. And then coming to the time of use, you see the social blogs, about 13 minutes. Imagine you reduce it to 1 hour, how much time people are spending. That is what you see here. Games, emails, and these others, 20 minutes is nothing but the remaining online sector. How much of usage we are. How many of us printers we go for all this? I'm sure not even say 20%. You see the symbols and lot more. This is one marketing. This just, I think today afternoon, Baralji has sent me this. World Print Hub is our Dote sir's, Tushar Dote sir, Dote printer, Bombay. It is his site. It is very nice. All the activities they are put there, and it is updated. And LinkedIn is another marketing tool for business to be. There are so many speakers. In fact, one such person is our adjunct faculty. I have invited him to be part of our teaching as an adjunct faculty. He is doing it. He is promoting our students to digital marketing. At least 75% of my students, each class we have about 60 students. In that 60, around 45 students, they are already working. They are working with this digital platforms, digital marketing they are doing. All these things are very familiar. You can see the social media, SEOs, server, applications, mobile apps, graphic design. Most important thing, I always tell my students, I'm sorry, I will be speaking a little bit about the education side because that is the area where I am familiar, and this also will help the industry because these students are the one who is going to the industry. I always tell my students, graphic designing, most important. Try practice on the InDesign, Photoshop, CorelDRAW, and then the ESCO software. There you must be, it should be on your fingertips. And opportunity-wise, salary-wise, so much of opening is there. Photography, everybody does. Videography, I have told. Web designing, some of my students are into web designing. And these students, some of them they get a pay, like a stipend. Some of them, just for practice, they are doing it. I tell them, irrespective of whatever it is, please go for. And these are some of the digital marketing agencies. There are, it's something about 70 to 80 few years back. And now it is more than 80,000. Sorry, more than 8,000 are there in India. In that, this Ogilvy, some of my students are there. Web Chutney, some of my students are there. There are many things. These are all, I just got the best 10 minutes I got. That's why I put it so that we all get awareness of what is happening in the industry. And as I said, this digital marketing in different class, it is there. And it was started in 1990. There was nobody to support it. But then by 98, the search engine marketing that started. And you can see the evolution. You see how rigid it was, and you see the flexibility. Here came the mobile in by 2004, like that it came, and then came our smartphone, and so this is how our life has changed. Then search engine optimization is another important thing. Here, you press the keyword, immediately your site should come. If you have a website, I write print, and I say print, foil printers should come. So that is one way of marketing. Okay, that is called a search engine optimization. Then you have a pay-per-click PPC. That was in somewhere in 2000. It was it started. Then came this content marketing, social marketing. I think I just explained. Content marketing is one of the most important area. In social digital marketing, there are three different departments. One is graphic designing. Then second is content writing, and third is the customer support. In these two areas, at least in the content writing and in the in graphic designing, as a student, or the printer should have enough people. And it is not a big task for us printers, because we always have a prepress department. And prepress department is a very strong department. Most of the printers have. So there, either train them or hire a new professional. The small children are enough. They know much better than any of us. Anything they will tackle. That I am very sure. And then come email marketing is still very active. Yesterday, I remember one of my students, he said he wanted to work in a company called Shots in Chennai. I think he's mailed me about around 10:30 in the morning. He mailed. I saw the mail. I sent him reply. I contacted the person who was there, but I could not get a response. The mail was rejected, and I thought he would have left it. I immediately told my student, no, I think I don't have contact. I will see from my alumni database. I sent a mail by say around 12 o'clock. I sent mail. 12:30, I got a response. I asked, do any of you have contact in Shots? I want to help one of your junior alumni. Immediately, that I could connect it. Maybe in a matter of 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So this is how that digital. Can we imagine such kind of situation any time before? Then comes the viral marketing. Viral marketing is very common in WhatsApp, and a lot of viral videos we often hear, that has become viral. It's people get attracted. Sometimes it is bad. Sometimes bad means bad. It may be a bad video, or sometimes it will be good. It all depends upon people. So this is how the digital benefits. Things are very fast. Okay, cost efficient, and these are some others. See, from my department, I want to speak. You can see, we have a Facebook of ourselves, and every activity, we go for digital advertisement. Even she is our student, 1919 pass out. And one of my student, Neeta, now she is ambassador for giving education news. Came last week, it came. And today, I want to tell you one more thing. Is yesterday, there is something called as SPYS, that is Patanjali, that yoga service is there, free of cost. They send WhatsApp message saying that, those who would like to join, please join. I have my wife registered, and yesterday was the inauguration. Okay, at 5:30 morning it started, and within no time, I think in 10-15 minutes, there were I think around 1,500 viewers. I'm not able to see my specs. I don't have. And in that, 500 people have liked. Okay, now coming to the topic. Now you can see, this is the YouTube, and you can see the advertisements. Advertisement of bank was there, one jewelry was there, then one cosmetic was there. Scrolling. I'm sure that some of them, at least 25% of them would have seen this in matter of 15 minutes, where it is possible to publicize so much. Even in TV also, I don't think it is possible. Then, it is personal. And this is how it, as I told you, the content writing, then graphic designing, and customer support. Of course, in that customer support, your servicing will be there. Then your dealings, the business. It's actually a business that also will be there. Very simple it is. It's not very complicated, which all of us can think. And of course, see, there are some small time printers which none of us would have heard. You see, InstaBliss printer, e-print catalog, poster, brochure. You see, Then somebody advertising for digital marketing, Jane printers, and there he doesn't know where it is, but at least they have given their mobile number. They're all doing business. I still remember one of my Bangalore friend, he told me once when I met Dr. Andit, see, I have a good printing press, well set up, we have all facilities. And I have in the city one digital printing also I have started. He took me there also later. And it is right at the center of the city. As machine, Ryko machine he has, 2, 3, he started with 1, 2, 3 he has. And he was telling me the amount of, more than money, amount of tension I have on my, the printing, the factory, and on this digital, there is a lot of variation. This is more profitable, no much headaches. But there, of course, like no, that's a mass production unit. It have a lot of activities take place. They started with that with a small print. They have grown so big. But he was just telling, like, no, this is in the city. Anybody within no time I can do. So my wife manages it. I don't need to spend my time there. Whereas she will not be able to manage the big printing press where we deal with not many things. Dental people also have put, it's all in the social media. I have collected from there. Food, okay, we see it. But this medical, dental things, and I am seeing for the first time. This is a, what is it, apartment. Now I want to tell like how a printer should market, how he can promote his printing press. One is he should have a very strong website. And many of them I have seen, Umol I have seen, they have a good one. Like the easily accessible, it is not very complicated. That is what it's a master search. It should be very easy to search. Anything you want, you should get with one click. And then another thing is, you should have a uniqueness of your business. Maybe on the produce, or maybe like anything I deliver within 15 minutes. That pizza guys, now you order it within 20 minutes. They started with that. So in 20 minutes, like now he will deliver it. So like that, some uniqueness, that is also very important. And once a person have visited, he should be able to visit number of more times. He should be a permanent customer. And there are a number of ways. I'm not going much into it. And then your reputation, that should be maintained. One thing which I have not seen in most of the print, I have not seen in any of the, I searched, only few searchings I made, but I have not seen in any website the testimonials of the customer. Dhote sir has put the testimonials in his, but that is a different thing. But in the press, I have never seen any testimonials. I don't know whether if somebody has, please forgive me, but I have not seen it. And outside, you see, outside foreign printers, if you see it, you can see plenty. I have just put some samples. Like many thanks for a great work and professionalism, like high quality printing, excellent service, and some with their photograph they have put. These things, that will be a little better, I feel. I think we all should have that testimonial one page, got that. See, before we go for a hotel booking, online hotel booking, we always check the ratings. What is the feedback by different customers? So I feel, and based on that only, we will also think like whether should we go for this hotel or something else. So this is one which I felt very, very good. Now, a little bit about the technological aspect of digital printing. I am not going because there are better speakers there who can speak about the machine. So we say that, like, no, you have maybe 2 days back there was one WhatsApp message came from our Dekar Reddy, like our AIFMP president. He sent a message, that is one link it is, which is better, whether a PDF or that JDF, which is by 2-3 files. Okay, that which is better, and there it's a very nice article. Kindly, maybe it would have reached you also. I have also put in the groups, in different groups I have put it. Please go through it. I just suddenly remembered when I saw this PDF. And so this is how the files will reach the customer, the printer, and printer prints it. This is what we say to the public. But at the same time, like, you know, there are not many works which we do. The first and most important is the pre-flight, whether everything is there or not, check it. Then the file preparation. For file preparation, now we have very nice or very user-friendly softwares are available. There are a number of good vendors are there. Okay, the color management, the hard copy, all these things, I'm not going, and then the printing take place. And there are fantastic vendors like, you know, EFI. EFI have all the full setup they have for your pre-press needs, for on-demand needs. Similarly, for your the ESCO-graphics, they are also into the on-demand digital printing. Very comfortably, you can go it. This VDP is one such their specialization, and also this typing. And Manipal Technology, they themselves have a digital platform. The complete digital business is being done through this Brios, and it is doing quite well. And one more they are going to develop it is almost in the finishing stage. Yeah, these are my references, like the people whom I contacted to get informations. Mr. Shashiranjan, Vikar Ahmed, and Samad, and some of the references I made. You can also go through it. I have given my presentation to Anjan Baralji. Baralji can please share it for those who are interested. So thank you very much for your patient listening. I think I have just given you an idea about, like, you know, what how to go ahead. If at all any mistakes I have made, please correct me, and please forgive. Any questions if you have, you can ask me.
Sir, thank you for giving a very clear-cut information. Moving forward, our next speaker, Sri Hitendra Kumar. He is presently Sales Manager, South Asia Cluster Enterprise Inkjet Solutions, Eastman Kodak Company. He is a printing technology professional with Business Analytics Diploma from Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, having more than 17 years of experience in digital imaging and packaging industry. Diverse sales and marketing experience with strength in new product planning, research and launches. Work experience with the world's leading digital imaging OEMs like Canon, Ricoh, and Kodak. Assisting brands and packaging converters in creating personalized, customized experience for consumer, leading to increased engagement, coveted loyalty, and ultimately more sales. He is the recipient of Best Alumni Award of the university for his outstanding contribution to the university and Print Professional Society over the years in the field of printing technology. He is our own alumnus, a very young and dynamic personality. with this short introduction, now I would like to invite Sri Hitendra Kumar for his presentation. Over to Sri Hitendra Kumar.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Baral. And of course, you are my teacher, so thank you so much for inviting me around here. And I would also like to thank the AMP, AIFMP team, especially Mr. Kamal Mohan Chopra, for organizing such an relevant webinar at this moment. All of us understand that, the COVID is in and around us. Last year, we were thinking this was first of it and we'll get over by next year. And this has, ravaged all of us, personally, industry wise, all of us are going through this rather troubling period, and I'm sure all of you guys are keeping well. And for today's topic, I'll briefly touch upon that. The previous senior speakers, Chopra ji, and then Mr. Subhash Chandra ji, and of course Mr. Amrit Raj ji spoke about they were doing printing in the earlier times using the traditional techniques, and then we had seen the onset of digital printing machines as such. And we in among us, we also have a printer, Mr. Aman Pandey. He is one of the early adopters of this digital technology, right? So I think just to set the tone, I would like to tell you that at first I would not be though I'm a salesperson, I per se would definitely not go into promoting products at this moment, and I will remain focused on what are the trends in this industry in these times, post COVID as such. And per se, we can't say post COVID because we are still undergoing the troubled period as such. So digital when started, we were thinking about some of the electrophotography presses, which could do like maybe 60 color pages in a minute, and then that moved to let's say 100 color pages in a minute. And then we have seen some of the black and white presses which could do 120 color pages in a minute, right? But in the past years, there have been so much research and advancement in this area. Now, in addition to the electrophotography, we have technology called inkjet, which of course was an older technology compared to electrophotography. But the advancement have been such huge that these days we can print up to 3600 color A4 images in a minute, and that too with a comparable offset quality. So the times have definitely changed. And in addition to that, these machines, these new age machines coming from all, and not only from one particular vendor, all the leading OEMs in this industry, HP, Kodak, Canon, Ricoh, Konica Minolta, and many others, all of these are now coming up with the solutions which are going to challenge the traditional printing processes in a big way. And by this, I'll just start sharing my screen. As I told you, our topic is digital print, and I'll focus mainly on the publication and the packaging aspects of this industry. So as previous speakers suggest about the digital adoption as such, uh, how the digital actually came into being, and what are the key drivers which actually drives the digital adoption in the industry, right? And one of them very simply is the need for shorter runs. You see, books, a lot of people want only the short run books, right? Then logistics and the warehouse management, right? There is not so much space available in the warehouses. Warehouses cost so much, and same is the case with logistics. Ever increasing fuel prices are now leading to increasing cost in logistics as well. Now, and the third key aspect for digital is that now there is very improved productivity and print quality by digital printers. I told you about that. Now the new age digital printers can produce 3600 A4 pages. Now that's just one aspect of it. Now we have presses which can print flexible material, and that too, we have new generation flexible printing presses which can print 10,000 square meter when their cost would be equal to a flexo press. So you can see the huge improvement in the productivity with the newer digital technologies. Of course, and all of this come along with that, these newer generation digital technologies have integrated finishing operations, right? This again gives them all the people who wants to get into digital another adoption method. And far most, more relevant in the Western world, the lesser human resources that are required for running a digital press. Now, coming very quickly to the COVID-19 effects, all of us understand that, these days, the projections for the demand are very uncertain. One day there is something open, other day some lockdown comes. Lockdown is for 1 week, and then, it is extended for another 1 week, right? So there is uncertainty in economy. You don't know what is going to happen next, right? The supply chain plans, right? You have to be really dynamic, as I told you, with the frequent lockdown, uncertain lockdowns, you can't be sure about, your regular supply chain plans. You have to think on the go. Manpower shortages, specifically in our part of the world, wherein a lot of manpower or the unskilled or semi-skilled manpower, which comes from uh, the I say, the B and C category cities. So while the lockdown happens, they tend to move over to their home places, and that creates shortages in the big industrial cities. And the consolidation of businesses, right? And this is very relevant today. I think we all are seeing that, the richer are becoming richer, and similar for the business. The smaller a person has a business, the more chances that he may not survive such effects, right? That's why, there is a lot of consolidation even among the business class. Now we'll speak about some of the enablers. We have seen some of the drivers for the digital adoption, but what are the innovations which are happening within these industries, right? Uh, uh, One innovation that is within the logistics and warehouse management is book of one concept, right? So book of one, as all of you understand, you just have to print one book at a time, right? And that book would just be printed. Just one book would be printed, that would be folded, book blocks will be made, and that would be perfect bounded and then given to a customer, right? So these days, these kinds of technologies are coming up, which drives the whole logistics and warehouse management innovation. Right? And just-in-time printing, all of us as a printer now know that nobody wants to stock anything. Everybody just want to place an order when they want it, right? They want it in short time, and they want it in lesser quantity, right? Similarly, going to the packaging, so there is, we've all heard of the variable data printing, right? Here you see on the bottom corner, the image of the Coke bottles, right? So these bottles, these were the original campaign run by Coca-Cola in Australia, wherein they put the name of some generic name on these bottles, and youngsters were flocking to the fridges in a shopping mall so that they can pick the Coca-Cola bottle of their name. In India, during the 2018 IPL, they started this campaign again with the name of the relationships, like Coke for a father, Coke for a brother, Coke for a friend, right? So these are the things. So such innovations are happening within the packaging space. Similar campaign was run. These actually are called mass customization schemes, right? And along with that, the FMCG companies are nowadays running loyalty programs, right? So all of us, when we purchase something from a supermarket, so all your data is available only with the supermarket chains, and the supermarkets are not the FMCG brands, right? So you buy a bottle of Coke, but Coke doesn't know who is buying my bottle, right? So newer innovation in the packaging enables them to know who their actual consumers are. And we'll come on to, when I go to the next slide, I'll tell you, how brands are enabling such a thing, right? Brand authentication. This is again a really big issue in India, in a market like India, where unofficially, most of the people would agree that, at least, 1/5, at least 20% of the product that we see on the market shelf, be it a supermarket or your neighborhood store, we are not sure whether they are authentic or not, and this is very real. We have associations which are telling us that there are losses to the tune of 1 lakh crore in revenue to the Indian industry that happens through the counterfeiting measures, right? And sales tracking. Now, if I give you an example, what VDP can do. You can put a very humble 1 by 1 inch variable code on top of your packet, and it can give you multiple purposes, right? Just to give you an idea, if you put a VDP code on top of your package, right? When you scan that particular code in your warehouse, it will give you an idea of your warehousing levels. So when you want to order the balance quantity with the manufacturer, right? When this moves onto the stockist level, right? Then this gives you, and the stockist then first time scans it and sells it to the retailers. Then the company gets to know what are their primary sales, right? And when you go to the particular store and scan the same code, the brand directly gets to know what are their secondary sales targets, or what are the actual secondary sales happening in the field. So one humble variable data code printed on any package can give a brand or an FMCG company so much of data that they can plan their future marketing schemes based on one particular code, right? And of course, other thing, as I told you about, was mass customization. I spoke about the Coke example at front. Then versioning. If you are able to see my video, I'll just show you. You can just see, there are 3 labels. All of them are same, but they are in different colors, right? So these days, the digital printing allows you to do such a thing, and you can do such a thing at speed. You don't need to slow your engines. You don't need to change your process as such. You don't need to alter your post-press systems. All the things can be done on the go and without increasing your cost. Now, I'll move on to some of the key stats in the publication industries. So all of us, of course, Mr. Amrit Raj put some light onto the digital adoption in the world, right? And all of us are sometimes really worried that whether this onslaught of digital adoption can take away some of this print from the publication industry. And we understand that the printers as such do a lot of publication printing, right? But if I give you the global book market revenue is on a rising trend, though it is not great. So we say that the approximate worldwide CAGR is about 1.5%. The figures in Asia Pacific are slightly higher, about 2.3%. But when we see, all of us are worried that, someday, this print is going to be finished, right? Nobody is going to publish something, but no, this is still on a rising trend. And this data is, between 2018 to 2024, but this is also updated post-COVID, right? So you can see there is still lifeline in the global book market sales as such, right? Second key stat I would like you to focus on is the fastest growing segment within the book market is self-publishing, right? And this is rising at a a very healthy rate of 17% CAGR, right? So you understand that these, as our initial speaker spoke about, how publishers are not willing to print, so much copies, right? And even for the established authors, they would like to go in and test the market by printing just 500, 1000 copies. But, and how would this new age, authors who are rising, because there is a lot of exposure these days from internet, they want to publish themselves. So what's the way forward? So self-publishing, there are people who are self-publishing their products, and that's where digital printing comes in handy, right? Because digital printing can give them 5 copies, 10 copies they want to push in and promote anywhere, right? So this is another trend which is rising by 17%, which will give furthermore rise to the adoption of digital printing technology. Third and the foremost important is, now these are the global figures which say that the online book sales now account for the total, 40% of the total book sales. And in India, this figure is even higher. Can you imagine that, these days, the, the highly organized companies, Amazon, Flipkart, which are now amounting to the 40% of the total book sales. They are highly technical companies which have the systems, which have the workflow. Why would they like to store, hundreds or, maybe thousands of copy when they have the printers who can print, one copy for them, who can print 5 copies for them, who can print 10 copies from them, right? So this is happening today, and I'm not speaking about some Western world. We have printers in India who can print 1 copy at a time, right? And I'm not talking about people who are using our presses. And we have printers in India who have presses from all different vendors, right? And they can print 1 copy. Even, we have one of the printers among us who can print 1 copy, 2 copy, 5 copy for people, right? Now, so these are the trends which are going to enable the faster adoption of digital printing in the coming days, right? Now, and what are these vertical actions? So we have seen some of the key stats, and the actions which are happening in the publications are that there is renewed interest in the short-run printing solutions as publishers across the world wants to avoid uncertainty in demand, right? And I'll give you some example of real life customer. Uh, as you understand, Repro India Limited, or Repro Books Limited is one of the largest printers, and there are of course many other big printers. So now they have 2 inkjet presses which can do the short run printing for them, and they run at a really high speed, right? If we come to North, we have a printer in Replica, who of course is one of the, who was always into book of one printing, but they have also now gone ahead and invested in another inkjet press with which they are printing now short run color printing books, right? Repro also has a color book solution, color inkjet solution with which they can do book of one. So this is not only that, these are just figures and these are words in a presentation. This is happening in the real world. And people who are going to adopt this technology faster would of course survive in the longer run, will make more money, right? Second key action, increase in logistic and warehousing costs. So we all know the fuel prices in India, they are going, going through the roof, and same way is the logistics cost. Because we supply a lot of material around India, and we see that logistic costs in the recent times post COVID have increased by 20 to 30% in total, right? And these things, in combination with the increased warehousing costs are also leading to the growing demand for print on demand. And this is the third most important figure for India. I spoke about the 40% figure worldwide, but if you look at the online book sales in India, specifically for trade books, now 75 to 80% of the total book sales is happening online. So you can see that, the people who are selling online, the companies like Amazon or Flipkart, they would always like to have something which is printed just when they want. Why would they like to store something, right? And similarly for even if there are smaller vendors who are selling on these portals, they would never like to store more than 5-10 copies at a time when the demand is so sparse, right? So these were some of the actions within the publication space. I'll very quickly move on to the key stats of the packaging industry. Now, this should be no surprise to anybody because we all know that packaging is growing, right? The figures for worldwide, the projected growth is about 4.5 CAGR. We in India don't think 4.5 is huge, but when we consider the size of the packaging industry and the growth rates of other industries in the Western world, which are about 1.5 to 2%. So 4.5% is almost double the rate of many other similar industries that are growing in Western world. So packaging is in the right space. And for India, these figures are even higher. In India, the packaging growth still is in between 7 to 8%, right? And we all understand that, due to COVID, the packaging in some sectors took a beating, specifically the luxury goods and other stuffs, or the non-essential goods. So packaging took a beating, but the food and beverages and the pharmaceuticals led the growth in this segment, which was pushed by COVID-19, of course, right? Now, another key stat, which I have, bracketed with the packaging is the counterfeiting. And why I have put this is that, with the digital solutions, the variable data printing that we can do with digitals, we can tackle counterfeiting in the most effective manner that we have seen, right? So WHO in its report in 2017, they say that 10.5% of the drugs sold in India are counterfeit or substandard, right? And then, so this is a global agency. Then Center for Drug Standards Control Organization, which is an Indian drug standard control organization, in 2018, they identified 4.5% of all generic drugs to be substandard or counterfeit as such, right? So this is real. And I'll give you an example of Indian industry. So some of these companies in India, I'll give you an example of Lupin, which is a pharmaceutical company. So when they sell their products in Africa, when they export their products to Africa, specifically the tuberculosis drugs, they put a variable code, and that variable code is scanned by the customer, and he gets to know when this product was made and whether this is right or not, because this is a variable code. This can just be scanned once, right? So as soon as they scan, they get to know in what plant it was made, what is the batch number, what would be the date of expiry, and whether this is authentic or not, right? So, and what we've seen these days, specifically during COVID, a lot of people were, thugged by the people who were selling counterfeit injections that were required during the COVID times, right? So I don't see, when these manufacturers are putting these methods to tackle counterfeiting in their export drugs, why won't they do in India, right? And I see that government would be very soon taking this into consideration, going by some of the examples or some of the experiences that we have seen during this year. I think very soon we'll see a time wherein people will have to put in some sort of mechanism for people to identify if their products are standard or not, or products are right or not, right? And this again would lead to the new more and more digital adoption, right? Because without digital you can't do very well, right? Now, I told you that, ASPA, this is an association for standards and protection association. I forgot the exact terminology for this, but this is an association which provides some of the counterfeiting tools to the industry in India. And in 2020, they estimated a loss of 1 lakh crore only due to counterfeiting. Now, this is a really big loss. If you go by, India's GST collection in this month was about 1.02 lakh crores, right? So you can see we are losing at least 10% of that revenue to the counterfeiting. And now within in order to tackle the counterfeiting, so it is not that we are speaking about counterfeiting the first moment. So all of you understand about the holograms. So hologram is in place since 15-20 years, but hologram is a static method, right? With the advancements in technologies, a lot of people are even able to copy holograms, right? But we within the digital space can provide techniques which can't be copied as such, right? Putting just a very humble QR code on top of your packages can help you tackle this menace of counterfeiting. And we of course work with some of the brands and trying to promote our solutions, right? And one such examples that we are working with, I'll take you through in the vertical actions. Now, I think I'm very much on time, and this, of course, would be my last slide, wherein I'll be talking about the vertical actions within the packaging space. Uh, at first, the green initiatives, right? Uh, all of us understand that there are a lot of initiatives worldwide which have been taken to reduce the wastages or the carbon emissions as such, right? And packaging plays a big role in this, right? Almost uh, almost all of our traditional printing processes generate a lot of waste, right? But within the digital space, we have technologies, which are completely green. So we have a company called Jicon, which makes electrophotography based solutions, and their inks can be eaten. They are starch based, so you can literally eat the ink which they are making, right? And we at Kodak are making water-based inkjet inks, which are food safe, which are direct contact food safe, and these are authorized by these are authorized by the European Council and Nestle, which are some of the big brands which are doing these things. So these green initiatives, which are taking shape uh, in the digital technology, are going to give even greater momentum to the adoption of digital in the future times. Now, other sector that we are seeing in India is excise tax collection through the stamps, now being increased to new sectors. So all of us, maybe some of you would have seen this liquor bottle in some of the southern states having a long sticker over its cap, right? Now that sticker actually is once statically printed, and after that there is a variable code which is given by excise department just one day before any dispatch, right? So all the excise department says, if your organization is saying, I'm going to sell 30,000 packs of a particular liquor in one day, so one day before they will send you the data, and you have to print that particular code on the labels and put it top of your bottles, right? And it's very easy for the then tax department to do the do even the once supposedly they want to uh, you know uh, count on the number of bottles which have gone out, so they can actually go onto the shops and check it themselves, right? So that puts a cap on the excise tax theft, which was earlier very much regular. So this was only limited to liquor. In this fiscal year, government has uh, asked for suggestion to introduce such technique within the tobacco space as well, right? And because in India we have only one company which enjoys a really large share, which is Indian Tobacco Company, and they still are investigating ways on how they can put these variable stamps on their tax, right? This is already happening in other parts of the world. Vietnam does it. It is also being done in Europe in some countries. So this is also going to come into the newer sectors day by day, right? Uh, the third most important thing is happening within packaging is the plastic waste management through VDP. So each time in a normal circumstance, whenever we purchase, let's say for an example, a bottle of Coke, right? So we, a plastic bottle of Coke, we drink it and then we put it, either we, sometimes we disintegrate that as well so that it can't be reused. But what is happening in Western world is that the government is now investigating these, incentivizing these companies to do the waste management themselves. So what these guys do is they put a simple VDP code, and as an consumer, when you purchase this and you scan that code and you have to return that bottle back. So the FMCG brand will give you some amount of your money back, and so that you are incentivized for returning that particular bottle. And when that bottle goes back to the brand, they of course are able to properly recycle that particular material, right? And this can't happen without the VDP, right? Of course, nobody will get to know that how many bottles have been collected, and how can they then incentivize you without knowing the code, right? So this has started happening in Western world, and Coca-Cola of course leads the way again in this. So this has started in Europe. We have customers who are trying to do this even in our parts of the world. So this is just the start of this process. So some countries, of course, like specifically, they are always ahead on the green curve. They've already taken the lead, but of course, this is going to come to India as well, right? And then counterfeiting and the loyalty application through VDP. I've already explained you even in the last slides, how counterfeiting creates a lot of loss. But as I told you, one simple code printed using the VDP techniques can give you multiple benefits, right? It's just one simple humble code which can give you the benefit of authenticizing your products as well as giving you the data of your customer so that you can run your loyalty program, right? So these are some of very critical actions which are happening in the world of publication and packaging, which are going to give further rise to the adoption of digital technology, right? And if you have any questions, you can write to me at my email ID, which is given around here. And if you have any questions, I think, as I said, post the program, you can answer that. Right? So that's all from my side, Mr. Baral. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hitender, for giving a very crisp and a nice presentation and telling about what is print on demand futuristic view. Moving forward, our next speaker, Sri Manish Gupta ji, who began his career as a salesperson selling servers in the field of IT, has worked in various roles with technological giants like HCL, Xerox for over 21 years, and was responsible for setting off various national level product offerings from the brand boutiques. Presently, Manish is the General Manager Marketing for the Production and Industrial Printing Division of Konica Minolta, India. He has been the brain behind the positioning and launching of all the production and industrial printing solutions of Konica Minolta, India, with his strong business acumen, leadership, and entrepreneurial skills. He has made sure to lead the production printing market for Konica Minolta in India with more than 50% market share consistently for the last 10 years consecutively, and helped Konica Minolta to the leader of the decade 2010 to 2020. Now, I would like to request Sri Manish Gupta ji for his presentation. Over to Manish ji.
Thank you, Baralji, and thank you, Kamalji, and everybody, my fellow printers on the panel, and the attendees who are attending the seminar on digital printing. I'm sure this is a very good initiative taken by AIFMP and Guru Jambeshwar University together. I'll just put on my slide on this. So I've been requested to share the solutions in digital printing. My fellow colleagues, Professor Amrut Raj and Hitender ji, have been very informative. Subhash Chandra ji has already shared his life experiences on the digital printing and the use of digital printing. I'm sure all my fellow printers have been very learned about the topic. Thank you. And I thank AIFMP and Guru Jambeshwar University for inviting us as a Konica Minolta to be on panel as one of the speakers for this. I'll just briefly share in terms of not too many figures in my slide. Hitender ji and Amrutra ji have shared a lot on this. So there are, when we talk about printing as such, there are three forms of printing. Three stages, I would say, divide the market into three. One is for office consumption, for daily needs, office or home consumption, for which the market is approximately $100 billion. And second is the commercial printing, which the market is approximately $350 billion, $390 billion on this. And the digitization ratio in this is still 3.5%. So there's still a huge gap, or I would say opportunity in digital when we talk about the entire market. The bigger space is the industrial market, industrial printing, which is growing, which constitutes of labels, packaging, textile, and outdoor graphics on this, with the market size is approximately $520 billion. And utilization ratio on this is very low, 2.7%, except in the label space where we have awareness on the usage of the digital technology on this. So as we all know, in terms of we are in the different stages of manufacturing, where the manufacturing process or the industrialization process also moves from stage 1, 2, 3, 4. We currently call it IoT 4.0 or like industry 4.0, which is in terms of bringing in more automation with the current processes of industrialization, where the system and processes become autonomous or intelligent enough to improvise based on the data on those. So data is very important when we are discussing, or when we are manufacturing anything, or when we are printing anything on this. So my friends, everybody talk about printing industry. I would like to personally, in terms of probably, I don't call it to be a printing industry. I call it to be a part of the communication industry. Printing is in terms of a process of sharing information. So in the current trend where the digitization is improving and the content shared in various forms, maybe print is one of the form, and people are also looking at in terms of to be shared online. So I would urge all my friends, fellow printers, to look at printing as such into be a different space, to be a mode of communication where the content which is created for print can also be published on more than one forms of, besides paper, it could be published online on social media or create marketing campaigns for the end customer. So in changing scenario, the prints are also changing. Like it said, technology is not permanent, but keeps evolving. Some of the examples which we currently all use: iPhone, iPad, Kindle, 4G, Uber, Airbnb, Android phones that we use every day, Instagram for sharing images, Snapchats for communication, and most probably WhatsApp, where more than 90% of the telecom users in India are using WhatsApp. These technologies have not been available for more than 15 years. In last 10-15 years, they have evolved. And if you see in terms of the market capitalization of these companies like Apple, which is rated as world's biggest company, Google, so all these technology companies are taking over a lot of traction and business innovations, and of course the revenues also. So technology is playing key part in bringing in more customers, bringing in more revenues, and being more relevant to your customers. Some of the examples where technology is helping to be connected. For example, Philips Lighting has introduced bulbs which you can connect it to your phone, so you can switch on and off your lights. Medtronics, so which has implanted a glucometer with the device, and you can communicate using a device. Ralph Lauren introduced a polo shirt, which is embedded with the information technology and which helps to calculate the calories burnt, the movement intensity, heart rate, and all that. Beyblade is a tennis racket which calculates in terms of the speed of the ball, at what speed you have hit the ball, what is the impact calculation. So various parameters can be known using technology. So technology is advancing. Similarly, printing is no different. So one of our fellow colleagues has also shared in terms of how over a period of time they have progressed from a letter press to a press, and also used digital printing as such. The challenges in the printing industry, like Hitinder and Professor Amrutranjan has also shared, fully automated, audited supply chains for fulfillment, distribution, logistics. So these are some of the challenges which printers are having, or the end customers is facing along with the customer. Process improvement, how we can reduce the waste. Paper is more expensive. Sorry.
Continue, sir.
Okay. Paper is more expensive than the cost of print. So how our printers can meet the customer's expectations on meeting the service levels. How technology can help in terms of bringing in e-commerce solutions, or how they can re-engineer their processes and improve the product life cycles, and how they can target and improve the process of communication. Like I shared, printing on ink on paper is only one part of the communication process. So the content can be shared in more than one forms. So our fellow printers or as printers, we are developing a content, but we are only focusing on ink on paper. But there are more forms of revenues which we can encash the same content to be monetized. So when we are looking at revenues or source of revenues, we are currently more focused towards ink on paper, where we sell but that document, that content can also be monetized to be shared on internet, social media, or various other forms of communication. And finally, the print that integrates with web-based channels like I shared and social media to drive online sales, provide performance metrics. In this, nowadays, the data or the parameters where you are knowing your end customer becomes very important, because you can track the social behavior of a customer and how the customers behave in terms of what are their purchase parameters. So if all those parameters are known, you can help your customers to improvement. Technology has evolved from maybe around initially when I started my career, the color pages, color printer was only 12 pages per minute. Now we have technologies which can print more than 1,000 pages per minute. Variable data, which is helping personalization. Documents are getting personalized for one-to-one communication. And environmental issues in terms of to be more conscious towards the environment while using the technology. Practical steps to grow and be more profitable in the business of printing. So we are not saying offset or other forms of printing are economical or more profitable, but we have to be more conscious in terms of when we are looking at where to invest, how the technology can help the customer's requirement. We need to understand in terms of the customer's pain point or the customers to whom we are printing a document for, and making it easier for a customer to do business with you in terms of have a good supply chain management and processes. Try to automate your workflows of receiving an order to processing and post printing and then delivery. Implement a color control workflow where the documents could be cited using color coding. Invest in digital printing for operational efficiency. Longer run jobs can be continue to be done or using a traditional offset process, and for short run applications, digital can be a better solution where we can have operational efficiency, as the digital does not need any process of preparing plates or pre-press on those. Introduce VDP and data management services as a value-add service. Why I'm saying data management service is because a lot of our printers have access or request from the end customers to print and distribute. So majority of us, when it comes to distribution or when it comes to personalization, we back off or we show our reservation to do that. But these are very important in terms of, because if you have the core data or core information about your customer's profile or your customer's customer, and you have all those information with you, it is very difficult for your customer to leave you as a printer. And it is very important information of your customer. So if you get into data management services, it will become a very sticky solution for your end customer to move away from you, or you will have an advantage over all the other fellow printers. Keep on identifying new applications which can add to your portfolio, for example, photo books, book publishing, or for whatever applications you are doing for your customers, you can always expand once you have it. Digital presses are used for multiple applications, maybe like all my friends have also shared: posters, commercial jobs, publishing, coffee table, BDP and security jobs, plastic cards, direct mailers, packaging, tag printing, photo business. There are two new things which I have added is in terms of now technology also supports to print digital spot UV and digital foil also, which is not done in terms of the current form of printing. There are more technology advances, for example, where the technology is used using silver nano inks to print printed electronics, or tags and barcodes could also be more, you can say, chipless RFID technologies are coming, where the RFID tags are printed without embedding the physical tags on there, and these tags are printed using the digital technology. We think in terms of digital to be a very small smaller devices, but the devices provide the facility to print on variety of substrates. So besides the normal paper, they can print on textured, foil, label, stock, synthetic medias, metallic papers, plastic and PET. So these are some flexibility within a press that you get to print on variety of different medias on this. Of course, there is a limitation of the size and features on different digital presses that are being provided by all the OEMs. So presses nowadays are also very color standardized. So majority of the digital printing devices which come have a color standardization certificate certified by agencies like FOGRA or color standardization companies. They support media size from A4 to B2 plus size. So when we are looking at in terms of the bandwidth of the equipment or bandwidth of the media handling capacity, it is fairly good from looking at in terms of a small requirement to a bigger requirement or bigger application size. The thickness of the media is from, you can look at from 0.06 to 0.6 mm, which is roughly around up to 600 mm you can use. There's also a technical advantage in terms of the process of printing, since digital does not need any pre-press. So the complete process can be shortened in terms of the manpower requirement on those. So coming to the second part of my presentation, in terms of the ink on paper strategy is not sustainable for long term. So there are more avenues in terms of how you can upsell when using digital technology, using digital embellishment in terms of hot foil, spot varnish. So these are new technologies which have come for in last 5-6 years, which are evolving or getting more traction. These are helping the customers to upsell the same document where we are competing with our fellow printers on these. So the requirements in this is it should support short run. BDP can be done using spot UV, and foiling can also be done using a variable data technology, and turnaround time should be very fast. So currently, when we look at the traditional process of spot UV and foil, it constitutes in terms of having a long pre-press time. So applications are huge in terms of business cards, brochures, catalogs, also all those. So these are also being used in packaging applications, security applications where secure foils are used, and we can also add variable data on the foil using the foils and spot UV. So common application is being the book cover pages or book covers, which is using the foil technology and spot UV to a very since long. And This is important stats where the capacity to pay or interest from a customer to pay extra on the documents is customers who tend to use foil, they are prepared to pay a premium up to 82%, or for textured UV, they are willing to pay a premium. For spot UV, they are willing to pay a premium. So this helps in terms of when we are creating a document, we can promote these technologies, using these technologies to get more revenues from the same print. So these prints are being used in various technologies or various applications, right from digital, book publishing, labels, packaging, trade finishers, flexible printing. So all these forms of printing can use the same technology. I would endorse the Professor Amrut Raj's presentation in terms of digital printing press is just not a press, it's a marketing tool which is with you. End user does not require print service, they desire products which they can market and help them in their businesses. So be it in terms of when we are printing a menu card, a brochure catalog, a fashion catalog, or a book. So all these applications that we print are being sold by our customers as a product. So they need a good tool which is helping them to market their business. So finally, my final slide, Konica Minolta portfolio, we provide all these devices and consulting on how to be more connected using digital technologies. So we have technologies in black and white, color, and in industrial space. So be it for label, textile printing, commercial packaging, and digital foil and UV. I would rest my slide here. Thank you, and be future ready on the using digital technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Manish ji, for a beautiful presentation, informative presentation. All the three speakers, Professor Amrut Raj sir, Sri Hitendra ji, and Sri Manish ji, they have given a roadmap for all of us to the printing industry, how print on demand is going to capture the upcoming market, especially after this COVID situation. So we have to prepare ourselves for the future. Now,
I think I will have to take a little time before you start the question answer. We have some announcements to be made regarding our this series of virtual meetings. Today we started with this topic, and tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, on 8th we have another series that is packaging development. So on 8th, I'll send the link to all on the chat. So if you can study and you can get it registered, same time, 6:30 p.m. on 8th. On 9th, there is another beautiful topic, that is artificial intelligence. So that will be held on 9th, how the artificial intelligence can be used in printing. That is a cumbersome question, and definitely the things which are things of tomorrow we are going to discuss. And after that, after a gap of 2 days, on 12th of June, we have another seminar that is, as everybody was telling, Manish was telling that ink on paper. See, he said less, and I will say ink on paper is not a printing. That is gone with the past. Now, ink on paper is not a printing. We have to change ourselves. So for that change, we are organizing a special seminar that is a value addition key to success. So if you have some value addition in the printing, things you can sell it in a better way and in a more formal way, and you can earn a lot of more profits. Similarly, we will have a seminar. See, on 9th, we are keeping on artificial intelligence, and after a week, we will put on augmented reality, which already people are doing, and we are inviting the people who are already doing it. So there are many others topics are to come, and I will request everybody to please join. This is there to enhance your knowledge and to give you the input, what are the things going to come. Over to Brasa for question answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So there is one question for any any one speaker can answer it. S. Lakshmanan is a publisher from Sanlax Publication. He asked, I like to know what are the strategies followed to catch up the print on demand market, pod market. Shall I trust private SEO players for marketing? If not, what are the successful methods to tap the print on demand market? So anybody can answer his question.
Can I respond on those?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So print on demand is not different in terms different form of printing. It is again a printing, but it's just that printing on demand we refer in terms of where the quantity is very less. It using a different technology in terms of different form of printing using digital technology. It helps to add variable content because there is no requirement of using pre-press or plates on this. When we are looking at how we can promote digital marketing or print on demand amongst our set of customers, so it is very important that we understand who are our customers, what is their business. So who are their end customer, who is the end consumer of a document, or I would say the end consumer of an information. When we know who is the end consumer of the information, we can devise our plans on this. So there are various tools, various applications, softwares. We need to map what we want to sell to a customer. What is he interested? Once we know those parameters, we can look for companies who want to promote their products in that segment. So print on demand can help on those aspects.
His question was, his question is there, shall I trust the private SEO? That is his main question. He already, I think he's already doing POD, but he wants to know, can he trust the private SEO? Otherwise, what is to be done? Search engine optimization, for that search engine optimization, he said that he must be doing something. So shall I trust the private SEO out in the market? Or if not, what is to be done for POD?
Yeah, in terms of SEO, I'm not very conversant on those, but so far from whatever my experience on search engine optimization is, search engine optimization is done basis certain parameters or keywords which Google does on those. So it is done on using a certain keywords. So then it comes the territory, state, city, and then country and all that. So there are reports which you can download for a particular product. If somebody is looking for a bicycle, let's suppose he's looking for a bicycle, what type of bicycle he is looking on a Google reports, there are keywords which are available. For example, if I am searching for a bicycle, I type Hero cycle or Atlas cycle. So you can get a report that how many times in a particular city somebody has looked for a Hero or a Atlas or for a bicycle. So depending upon those keywords, you can work your own way, or you can request somebody on your behalf to do the search engine optimization for you. And these are normally in terms of free optimization can be done, and it could be done using Google on a paid where you need to bid for a particular lead to be generated. Then second is in terms of to promote your POD, you need to help or create more content to have a better Google ratings on this. So Google promotes the company or a product as when somebody types for a bicycle, you have top 10 listings on those. So the Google algorithm optimizes based on the content about your company, which is available in a particular city or a state.
So Tinder wanted to add something.
Well, sir, more or less, if the question was about SEO optimization, see, at the moment, Neeraj has addressed most of it, but I think, in order to if he wants to get his own organization into the SEO searches, Of course, he either he can do it himself by going onto the Google portal and do some registrations, right? Other thing, of course, is all of these private players that do the SEO for them, right? Just Dial is just one of them, right? So not the one example, but other way of looking at it, right? So he can get into the help, but as of now, we say government doesn't do SEOs, right? So it is only the private players who are going to help him out, right? Or he can do it himself.
Sir, can we request Muktnath Pandey because he is a Pandey ji?
Yes, sir. किस चीज के बारे में पूछना चाह रहे हैं? SEO के बारे में या?
Actually, the question was actually Tender made it clear that is actually at this moment only private SEO is available. There is no government SEO. The question came that the person said, "Can I trust the private SEO? If not, what is you done?" That his question was only this. So what Tender cleared, there is no government SEO, only private are there. So we'll have to believe till the time some government approved comes.
Yes, one has to trust the agency, digital marketing agency.
Yeah.
They can help you out. If you are not able to put some good word according to your business in the Google form or Facebook, Twitter, anywhere, so you have to have appoint a person who knows better, who write a proper content. Content is the king. So, वो लोग जो आपको करके देंगे, जो वर्ड ढूंढ के आपके बिजनेस के बारे में लिखेंगे, शायद वो बिजनेस आप उतना नहीं जानते जितना सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन के बारे में वो लोग जानते हैं. तो we have to trust that person, appoint a digital marketing company and do the things.
Okay. Thank you, Pandey. Yes, brother.
Kamal ji, one of the technocrats here, Jason Jose, he is from Bangalore. And he is doing good job. So can you invite him to speak something?
Hello, good evening.
Okay. Oh,
Thank
nice
you.
to see you. Jason, can you throw some light on print on demand like happening?
Print on demand is it is definitely the next big thing that is going to happen, and we have to all the offset printers have to have. They should have a business in that also, because the next demand is not like the volumes are not going to be big. So we have to be active in that space. So we are also definitely moving in that direction.
So what is your future plan? Like what your press is doing to overcome such situations?
No, we already have Konica Minolta machine.
Okay.
For print on demand.
Okay.
So we are using that for print on demand.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Any other questions, sir, if somebody wants to?
The last, we have one more question. I think this relates to both the speakers from Konica and Kodak. A person says, I'm an offset printer and wish to convert to the digital. What investment I need to make?
The size of the investment depends upon the application, what the customer is looking at, or what he's looking at in terms of what are their requirements in terms of the sheet size, the requirements of prints per day or per month, or the turnaround time which they are looking at. So the digital technology now has evolved right from maybe around, like I said, 50-60 pages per minute, and it can go into 1,000 or 1,000 plus sheets per hour or per minute. So there are various different options which are available. So it is up to the requirement of the customer in terms of the application, complexity of the workflow which they are looking at.
Amrita sir?
Yes, sir. I want to ask, I want to just go back a little bit, say somewhere in 2006. In 2006, the cost per feet print for the V-mail, that was 38 rupees. Okay, 38 rupees, and now it is something around 8 rupees per square feet. That is what we get in Manipal. Now, what I want to ask Manishji is there like no chances that the cost of digital also will come down further?
The cost of digital is only coming down. if you see the important stats and the cost of money, digital printing over last 5 to 10 years, I don't think so. People have increased the running cost. So it has only come down. And if you see the devaluation of the rupee, which is happening in last 10 years, and the printing cost remains the same, it is already coming down. So as we use more digital as a concept, the economies of scale will practically come into play, and it will be more economical and more, I would say, more and more people can afford the same. There are cost escalations in terms of the manpower cost when we are using our traditional forms of printing in terms of the offset. There is a basic cost of operation for a particular job. So if we are doing a job, let's suppose for 1,000 or 100 sheets, in an offset there is a fixed cost which is not there in the when we are talking about digital. So costs are, when we are looking at in terms of not absolute cost, but when we look at the overall cost of printing on using digital technology is already coming down. I started my career way back in printing in 2001. I remember correctly, almost 20 years back. At that time, one digital print was sold for, if somebody had to buy a A3 or A3 size print, people were paying 150 to 200 rupees or in excess of 100 rupees. So now people are buying it at less than 10 rupees.
Yes.
So imagine in terms of the cost of printing has come down.
Yeah, yes, sir. What say, sir? Yes, sir.
It's not the digital cost has come down. It's not because of any profit or the technology. It's because the competition. There are more players now. Due to competition, only the price has come down. It is not a profitable thing. In real picture, it is not come down. If you do a proper business, the correct rates are not correct.
One more question has come, and what is the resale value of a digital machine?
Every technology has a certain obsolescence. So digital is evolving. Maybe every 3 to 5 years you find an upgrade or a new forms coming in. So if somebody is willing to continue, as long as they can continue, digital will keep on supporting. Most of the OEMs will support the devices for at least 8 to 10 years. So we also support those devices. So practically in terms of when we see the technology upgradation, every 3 to 5 years it happens. But when you're looking at in terms of the usage of a technology in digital printing, you can look at 7 to 10 years as a practical life of a digital device. That is after 8 to 10 years, I don't think so.
Nothing, he will not get
nothing.
You may have to pay nowadays because of the government ruling. You may have to pay for scrap also.
Kamalji, I have a very interesting answer to this question. Definitely. See, resale for a digital solution. See, currently we are looking at digital from the point of view of that there are electrophotography machines, which after a certain while don't have the value. But there is another technology called inkjet, wherein practically, after 3 or 4 months, you are making your machine almost new because you are changing the heads. So your print engine, even after 7 or 8 years, is always new because you are changing your heads after 3 or 4 months of usage. So practically, we have seen the presses that we have sold in early 2010-12, right? So if we sell a press for like $3 million US, so you can get the same press today for about 1.5 million. So the value is about half, right? So you can have various things to this. So it may not be as good as offset, we can say, but still, there is still value in the digital industry.
He's asking for the rebate value. Yes, there is as Manish said, every company will give the value, but whatever value they fix it, not as per the machine, as per the year.
सर एक चीज मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ। 1988 में हमने मारुति खरीदा था, मारुति वैन 88,000 में, और 3 साल चलाने के बाद में 90,000 में बेच दिया था। लेकिन आज के डेट में आप कार खरीद के नहीं बेच सकते।
आज नहीं बिकता सर, आज नहीं बिकता।
आज आपको पैसा नहीं मिलेगा। तो लाइक दैट आपको डिजिटल में जाना पड़ेगा, आपको उसको प्रॉपर यूज करना है और उससे इनपुट आउटपुट लेना है। सेल वैल्यू पे मत जाइए। आपको सेल वैल्यू आप अपने जो कॉस्टिंग है उसको प्रॉपर करिए और उसका बेटर यूटिलाइजेशन करिए, तभी आप करते हैं। नहीं देखिए, हम भी यूज करते हैं सर, हम काफी टेबल बुक्स प्रिंट करते हैं। देखिए, आप प्रिंट अगर बेचने जाओगे तो आपको कुछ नहीं मिलने वाला। आपको कुछ ना कुछ वैल्यू एडिशन डालना है, और बगैर वैल्यू एडिशन के तो आज की डेट में कुछ भी नहीं है। आपका पोता भी आपसे बात नहीं करेगा अगर कुछ लेके नहीं जाओगे तो। वैल्यू एडिशन इज इम्पोर्टेंट। वैल्यू एडिशन में आपको ध्यान देना होगा। आप डिजिटल प्रिंटिंग में जाइए, बेटर यूटिलाइजेशन करिए और नई टेक्नोलॉजी को अडॉप्ट करिए। उसके लिए मत बैठे रहिए कि हमने 2 साल चला लिया, अब इसको तो यू हैव टू अडॉप्ट टेक्नोलॉजी। अभी सर हमने जब स्टार्ट किया 2005 में डिजिटल प्रेस हमने खरीदा, उस टाइम पे ये था कि प्रूफ दिखाना है क्लाइंट को, तो खाली लेके जाते थे एप्सन प्रूफ, कलर ऐसा आएगा, पेज ऐसा होगा, वो चीजें नहीं चलती हैं। फिर आप आज की डेट में जब आप प्रेजेंटेशन देते हो, प्रॉपर प्रेजेंटेशन, एक ही बुक बनाते हो, उसको देते हो तो उसको अच्छा लगता है, वो पैसा
बिल्कुल सर। सो एनीथिंग एल्स
आपको मिलता है तो सेल्फ प्रोडक्ट।
A great, nice webinar, sir. I think we should conclude. Now it is 9 p.m., sir.
No, definitely, sir. Thank you very much.
It was a great session, and where we got lot of information and lot of industry specialists who gave their best to know from the basics of print on demand to the present scenario to the upcoming market from the technology point of view, and what are the it was a great thing, and we learned a number of things. Now, moving forward, I am thankful to all the speakers, all the delegates, especially Kamalji, AIFMP, for giving a chance to discuss on a platform like this. Now it is the time to invite Mr. G.N. Vishwakumar, HGS, AIFMP, New Delhi, for proposing a vote of thanks. Over to G.N. Vishwakumar, sir.
Good evening, sir. It's time to say thank you. On behalf of AIFMP, I sincerely thank Professor Kamal Chopra, the brain behind a series of webinars. Webinars speakers. The first webinar was held on 2nd June, coinciding with Benilanda's birthday, with focus on the digital print on demand. I thank our chief guest, Mr. Subhash Chandar, the past president of AIFMP. Thank you, sir, for your valuable comments. My sincere thanks goes to today's speakers, Professor Dr. Amrutaraj H. Krishnan, for his information on how big is the print industry, the challenges the industry is facing, and the need for digital marketing. And Mr. Hitendra Kumar for his inputs on inkjet technology and the innovations in print and packaging and the rising trend in publishing sector. And Mr. Manish Gupta for his inputs about the printing markets, product evolution, and the excellent coverage of the subject. Thank you all for the nice presentations. A big thanks to Professor Anjan Kumar Baral, the moderator of today's event, and Guru Jambeshwar University of Science and Technology for hosting this webinar. I also thank Mr. Vijender Kaushik for the technical assistance. Above all, my heartfelt gratitude for the participants who made the program a big success. Thank you all, sir.
Thank you for everyone. Subhaji, thank you very much.
Subhaji, thank you. Amrutaraj sir, Hitendra ji, और मनीष जी, बहुत thank you.
Hitendra, HGS, Vishkumar ji, thank you very much.
Pandit ji, thank you.
Thank you, Kamal ji, for opportunity.
And Sri Lankan president also was there. So thank you very much. It was a nice conversation. I think people would be benefited with it. Stay safe and follow the rules.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Good night, sir. Good night.
Thank you. And see you on 8th. 8th, same time. We'll have another topic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.